Welcome to Odd Crime Chronicles. Hello, let's dive into the story. I bet you didn't know how quickly joy can turn into horror. Picture a wedding celebration, a night brimming with joy and laughter, suddenly descending into chaos. It was August 15th, 2009, a night destined to be remembered for its joy and festivity. The wedding tent was alive with dancing and laughter, a testament to the love and happiness shared by all. But joy is delicate, a balance that can be disrupted in an instant. Tragedy often strikes without warning, transforming moments of happiness into scenes of horror. On this night, the celebration was abruptly transformed into a nightmare, as flames erupted, fueled by a hidden malice. Panic spread like wildfire as the tent, once a symbol of joy, became a raging inferno, a scene of chaos and fear. Guests were trapped inside, their screams drowned by the roar of the blaze, their dreams consumed by the fire. When the smoke finally cleared, the scale of the tragedy was revealed, leaving a nation in mourning. 57 lives were lost that night, victims of an act of unimaginable cruelty. This is the story of the Kuwaiti wedding massacre, a dark chapter that still haunts the memories of many, a tale of love and betrayal, of cultural traditions and the devastating consequences of unchecked rage. At the heart of this tragedy lies a woman scorned, driven to an act of unspeakable horror. Her name was Nasra Youssef Al-Enetzi, a name forever etched in the annals of history. This is her story, a moment of rage that changed countless lives forever. I remember attending a wedding celebration myself, the joy and laughter shared among family and friends. It was a night filled with love and happiness, much like the one in Kuwait. Reflecting on that joyous occasion, it's chilling to think how quickly such happiness can be turned into horror. The Kuwaiti wedding massacre serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of our moments of joy. In this series, we will explore the deeper psychological and social factors that led to this tragedy. What can we learn about human nature and societal pressures from such a devastating event to safeguard our own moments of joy? Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And let's go! To understand Nasra's story, we must first understand the cultural tapestry of Kuwait. This small, oil-rich nation stands at the crossroads of tradition and modernity. Islam is the bedrock of Kuwaiti society, and its tenets permeate daily life. One such tenet, deeply woven into the fabric of Kuwaiti culture, is polygamy. The Quran, Islam's holy book, permits a man to marry up to 4 wives, under specific conditions. This practice, while controversial in many parts of the world, is widely accepted in Kuwait. It's a part of life, a reflection of their cultural and religious heritage. However, the acceptance of polygamy doesn't erase the complex emotions it can evoke. For many women, the prospect of sharing a husband can lead to feelings of jealousy, insecurity, and resentment. These emotions, left unchecked, can fester and grow, sometimes with tragic consequences. Nasra Youssef Al-Enetzi was a young woman burdened by life's hardships. At 23, she carried a weight heavier than most. Married young, she found herself raising 2 children with special needs. The demands were endless, the emotional toll immense. Life had not been kind to Nasra. She grappled with her own demons, battling mental health issues that cast a shadow over her days. The stigma surrounding mental illness in Kuwait prevented her from seeking the help she desperately needed. Her marriage provided little solace. The strain of their circumstances, coupled with Nasra's untreated mental health, created a rift between her and her husband Syed. He grew distant, seeking comfort and companionship elsewhere. For Nasra, already teetering on the edge, this betrayal would prove to be the final push into the abyss. Syed's decision to take a second wife cut Nasra to the core. It was a blow to her pride, a confirmation of her deepest fears. The man she had pledged her life to, the father of her children, was choosing another woman. The cultural acceptance of polygamy offered her no comfort, only a searing sense of injustice. She felt betrayed, abandoned, and replaced. The resentment she had harbored for so long, fueled by her own struggles and her husband's perceived indifference, now raged within her. It was a fire that threatened to consume her and everyone around her. In those dark moments, a dangerous thought took root in Nasra's mind. If she couldn't have Syed's love, no one could. She would make him pay for his betrayal, for the pain he had caused her. And so, the seed of a terrible revenge was sown. The seed of vengeance takes root. As Syed's wedding day approached, Nasra's rage festered. She plotted her revenge with chilling meticulousness. The wedding tent, a symbol of joy and celebration, would become her weapon. It would be a pyre, a testament to her pain and fury. She acquired gasoline, the instrument of her vengeance. The scorching Kuwaiti summer, with temperatures soaring above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, would ensure a quick and merciless blaze. Nazra's plan was not a crime of passion, but a calculated act of malice. She knew there would be consequences, but in her twisted mind, they paled in comparison to the pain she felt. She would have her revenge, even if it meant destroying everything in her wake. A day of joy, a night of terror. The wedding day arrived, bathed in sunshine and filled with anticipation. Guests, dressed in their finest attire, flocked to the celebration, their faces glowing with excitement. Music filled the air, laughter echoed through the tent, creating an atmosphere of pure joy and festivity. Syed, beaming with happiness, welcomed his guests with open arms, his heart brimming with love and gratitude. He was oblivious to the darkness lurking in the heart of the woman he had once vowed to love and cherish, Nazra. As the day wore on and the festivities reached their peak, Nazra made her move, her mind set on a sinister plan. She waited for the opportune moment, her heart pounding with a deadly cocktail of fear and resolve, her eyes scanning the crowd. When the tent was at its fullest, teeming with unsuspecting revelers, she struck with precision. With a chilling calmness, she doused the tent's perimeter with gasoline, her hands steady despite the gravity of her actions. The pungent odor of fuel mingled with the sweet scent of perfume, a subtle harbinger of the horror to come, unnoticed by the guests. Then, with a flick of a lighter, she ignited the Inferno, sealing the fate of the joyous celebration. Trapped in the Inferno, the flames erupted with a suddenness that stole the breath from those present. The festive atmosphere evaporated, replaced by a primal terror that gripped the hearts of everyone inside the tent. Screams pierced the air as the fire, fueled by the gasoline and fanned by the desert wind, spread with terrifying speed. The tent, designed for celebration, became a death trap. Exits jammed with panicked guests, their desperate cries for help swallowed by the roar of the blaze. The heat was unbearable, the smoke suffocating. Many succumbed to the flames before they could even reach the exits. Those who escaped carried with them the searing images of that night. The smell of burning flesh, the agonizing screams, the faces of loved ones lost in the Inferno. It was a scene of unimaginable horror, a nightmare etched forever in the memory of Kuwait. The aftermath. Justice and sorrow. As dawn broke, a stunned silence fell over Kuwait, a nation in shock and disbelief. The once joyous wedding tent lay in ruins, a charred skeleton against the stark desert landscape, a haunting reminder of the night's horrors. The air, thick with the stench of smoke and death, hung heavy with grief, as the cries of the bereaved echoed through the morning. The nation awoke to the devastating news. 57 people, mostly women and children, had perished in the Inferno, leaving families shattered. The investigation was swift and thorough, leaving no stone unturned. All evidence pointed to arson, a deliberate act of malice that shocked the conscience of the nation. Nazra, her face now etched with a haunting mix of defiance and despair, was quickly apprehended. Her motive revenge, a dark and twisted form of justice. The nation grappled with the enormity of the tragedy, struggling to comprehend the senseless loss. How could a wife, a mother, commit such an act of barbarity? The question haunted everyone. The questions lingered, unanswered, adding to the collective grief and disbelief as the nation mourned. The Kuwaiti wedding massacre became a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked rage and the fragility of life itself, a scar on the nation's soul. The trial unveiling a twisted mind. The trial of Nazra Youssef Al-Enezi captivated the nation. The courtroom became a stage where the raw emotions of grief, anger, and disbelief played out. Prosecutors presented a mountain of evidence, painting a picture of a woman driven by jealousy and consumed by a desire for revenge. Nazra's defense team argued that she was not of sound mind, that her mental health issues had driven her to commit this horrific act. They pointed to her history of instability and the lack of adequate mental health care in Kuwait. The jury, faced with a heart-wrenching case and a defendant who showed little remorse, delivered a guilty verdict. Nazra Youssef Al-Enezi was sentenced to death by hanging, a punishment that sparked debate about the death penalty and the responsibility of a society to address mental health issues. A legacy of loss, a call for understanding. The Kuwaiti wedding massacre left an indelible scar on the nation's psyche. It forced Kuwait to confront uncomfortable truths about mental health, the complexities of polygamy, and the devastating consequences of unchecked rage. Nazra's story is a tragedy on many levels. It's a reminder of the importance of addressing mental health issues, of the need for compassion and understanding in the face of suffering. It's also a stark illustration of the devastating consequences of cultural practices that can leave some individuals feeling marginalized and voiceless. The memory of the 57 lives lost in that inferno continues to haunt Kuwait. Their stories serve as a reminder that even in the most joyous of celebrations, darkness can lurk, and that sometimes the greatest tragedies are born not of malice, but of despair. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. And let's go!